force, c'est celle qui brise les os.
Mon cœur ne connaît que la vengeance. L'homme du Nord.
So I could say hi, mobile development, personal first, choreography. Then I could say, what are you building? And then, what do I need to follow? Okay, fine. And then I could say, what are you building? And then he could ignore me or he can like answer. I assume he speaks English. Myers. What is that? Myers as the last name is probably Dutch, maybe. I'm not sure. Meanwhile, I'm waiting on my mastermind person.
Okay, cool.
And
Sold my solution to the product just now. That's cool. Because, yeah, I didn't like idea in that screen about opening separate screen just to show 3 buttons on it. That's kind of not our way to go.
sounds Russian. And doesn't look like he's going to respond to my message because he's probably in flow right now. And it sounds like Sean just hopped on because I just heard the boop notification. And so I go back. Uh-oh. And I go back.
Boop.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, who you watching?
I don't know. Apparently some Russian that is in flow right now. He didn't respond to my question about 30 seconds ago. That's okay though. It looks like he's building a mobile app as I'm looking at his emulator on his right monitor.
You might be looking at the stream now. Where he's like, I'm not going to respond to this guy.
No, yeah, I don't think he's going to respond to me. You want to do some reaction videos on Twitch live while they're live? It's like Matrix type stuff.
What I'm building.
Oh crap! As soon as I
Thank you for reminder.
hold up, go back.
Yeah. I don't know. Is it Friday?
Yes.
Or I'm not sitting properly, but my shoulders hurt a bit. I don't know what's that.
Is he
Maybe
gonna
Friday vibes.
Is he gonna respond to
What I'm building?
What I'm building.
Project probably command. Yeah. Yeah, probably Friday. Yeah. I have 3 apps in the App Store currently. I'm working on them. When I'm working on those apps, then I'm sharing screen and showing whatever I'm doing. When I'm not sharing screens, then usually I'm working, not usually, but lately for the last few months, I'm working on this application. And that is kind of up like that. And that is up all about, I don't know, there is hotel booking, for example. You can book hotels, there is posts, you can, let's say, some in-house Instagram, let's say. So you have basically a lot of different things. You have friends, you have chats, you have a lot of different things. That is kind of like, I will say, social network for travel-oriented social network. For example, you can create posts like that. That's kind of something.
Travel-oriented social network.
And
you should build a social network.
Interesting up.
Okay.
There is the Explorer.
It looks nice.
More about posts and all of that stuff. That is basically persons are coming and writing kind of articles about traveling and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't do UX design. I can make something look like a senior.
No, I'm not designer. I was leading project to implement those articles, all that stuff. And currently, I'm just working as a developer in the team, and we are developing that iOS application.
Oh, so he's doing his actual live streaming, his actual
big
work.
company,
Yeah.
kind of big team,
Okay.
and yeah, there is of course this is
Oh,
kind of
because it's freelance.
designer
I wonder
and
if he gets.
moderate up and web up and so
I wonder if he
on.
gets approval from
And
whoever's paying him
designing UX for
to
this application.
live
For
stream.
my own applications,
I
yes,
suppose any
and
I
designs
doubt it.
for my own applications. If I'm
I suppose
freelancing,
any
I'm not doing design work.
any exposure is
Oh, are
good.
we at the end of the
Exposure pretty
playlist?
much when you're
Really?
nothing, in terms of
Not
usage
yet.
or whatever.
As long as he doesn't get sued for live streaming
Don't ask for
NDA.
Fridays, it's Friday.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
my
Maybe there's no NDA.
saying me that it is Friday and it is kind of enough work.
All right, need
something.
to take off. Thanks
It's kind of
for
it
sharing.
kind of hurts a little bit. I don't know what's going on here.
Let's see if he responds to that.
It could be Friday. It could be my age. It could be wrong sitting.
All right.
Yeah, probably wrong sitting.
I'll give him 10 seconds to acknowledge before I jump off. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
I'm
1.
surprised he's not doing any screen sharing.
Yeah, shall I ask him that?
I don't know.
Okay. Good thing is just that I sold the idea about
Well, he did, I suppose, a little bit, but
sheet from the bottom.
surprised he doesn't
showing
do it when
sheet
he's
from the
like
bottom with
actually coding.
red buttons
Sort
instead
of like.
Actually,
whole
all right.
and
I'm about to kill it.
Yeah, kill it. It's
I like Russian. Russian accents, like no homo, but like I think Russian accents are cool. So, oh, I was suffering burnout a couple days ago. Oh, well, I was suffering burnout the last 2 days, honestly.
working too hard.
Man, I can't stop waking up at like 4 in the morning, and I'll just lay in bed for like 20 minutes, and I'm like, F it. I'll just open up a laptop and just go to work.
I had some insomnia issues on Tuesday night or something like that. I got maybe like 3 hours of sleep total. But first I was thinking about like interviewing stuff, and then I was thinking about like a bunch of other stuff, and then I ended up thinking about a problem at work for about an hour, like, oh yeah, we could solve it this way and blah blah blah. And then I got up and I wrote like a whole Slack post about it, and then tried to go back to bed after that.
You ever, so with me, like, I might wake up at like 3, 4 in the morning and like I'm just up. You ever like say, oh crap, if I send this MS Teams message, because I'm just doing a brain dump and my mind is like hella sharp right now, would I be waking up everybody else? And if I did, would that really be my fault? Because they didn't disconnect?
Yeah, no, I don't worry about it because I go, if somebody doesn't want to get Slack notifications at night, they will shut off Slack notifications or whatever. I don't have any notifications ding me. Like
I
it'll
keep
show up on my phone,
uninstall
but
it.
I don't. Yeah.
I uninstall it on my phone. It was becoming too much.
Hmm.
It's like, you remember the early days of the internet with the pop-ups?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how my MS Teams on my phone was. I'm like, oh God. What do they call it? Was it a pop-up storm? It was called something storm.
Yeah, something like that, where you just like get spyware. It would just go boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like as fast as you can shut them, they open. It's like,
Mhm.
damn it, god damn it, damn it, damn it.
Those were the days,
Hit the
man.
power button.
Freaking IE Explorer or Internet Explorer.
Yeah. Boy.
Internet was so annoying. It's not as annoying now, but for people that, I mean, people are born with the internet now, but for the people that, I don't know, happen to be alive before the internet came and then the internet came, like, it was the wild west of
Man,
annoyance.
nobody nowadays has to see what it's like to try to download one song over 56K. Like you dial in
Or a
and then
movie.
you wait. Oh yeah, a movie. Well, that'd be like days worth of downloads, but a song would take like an hour, 2 hours. It's like, oh, it's almost there. It's almost there. And then you get it and aha, now I'm gonna burn that one song I have onto a TV or onto a
No,
CD.
I used to play play like Madden or like Sega 2K games for like basketball and football. And you knew when your home phone landline was receiving a call because it would destroy the next like 45 seconds of your game that you're having with some stranger online, and you're like, I hope he didn't quit. I hope he didn't quit. And if you live in a home of a medium to large size family, your phone's going to ring probably like every 15 minutes for somebody, whether it's your mother, your father, either of your two brothers, or your sister. All right. And so it just used to be annoying having to share a landline between your phone and your Sega Dreamcast.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
I said Dreamcast. Oh,
Well, we used to in high school. We'd be get on the phone with all of our friends, and we would write down the IP address of whoever the host was going to be. And we'd drop into Age of Empires 2 and all connect up to the same machine. The one person who had cable internet, high speed at the time, they were always the host, and we'd all dial in and play, and then inevitably somebody would hop off and a sync error would happen, and it was like But man, those were the days.
yeah, that was the other part, like playing those video games or any online video game that's like one on one, and you're winning, and the other user wants to preserve their stats, so they'll just disconnect and occasionally reconnect to see if you quit or not, and they'll just keep doing it because they don't want to get that L or that loss on their stats. It used to be
Yeah,
annoying.
I think people actually had like toggle switch. Some people actually had toggle switches hooked into their Ethernet just for that purpose. Like, I'm losing, might as well
Yeah, we've come a long way.
toggle off. Yeah, and now it's always on. Can't.
Well, I think those systems just one time might be okay, and there's like a timer, and then maybe the next time or the third time they just say no, we don't like you. We're going to give the other person a win or something. You forfeit by our policy. Does that sound accurate?
Yeah. I wonder how many people are still on dial-up internet.
People that are like, I don't know, in their 90s that haven't died yet.
Why are 2 million people still sign up for AOL's dial-up internet? That was in 2014.
You got mail.
AOL 1.5 million still pay for the service as of May 2021.
Those people are probably dead, yet their bank accounts are still open.
Yeah, auto deduct
Yeah,
or auto ACH or whatever.
that has to be a market of dead people whose accounts haven't been closed.
There's got to be
I mean, your bank cards have an expiration date, though, right?
yeah. Well, yeah, no, not
Well, your bank cards
do,
do,
but
but
if you
your
set it
bank
up
account
as
doesn't.
yeah. Of course, nowadays it would be pretty much impossible to do dial-up internet. I was trying to see if there's like a kids react to the dial-up internet.
Should be kids react. You know what would be cool?
There's like teens react to Windows 95, 90s internet.
You know what
Like,
would be fashionable?
hmm.
I think we should sell it. We should sell smartphones that have a rotary dial. Or at least that should be a mode, like on your settings for your
I bet
phone.
there's an app that does rotary. I'd have to assume there's an app that does a rotary
No,
dialer.
no.
There's got to be.
Why?
because we've thought of it. So if we've thought about it, somebody else has thought about it. Well, you thought of it. If we thought about it, somebody else thought about it. The royal we.
But I mean, it wouldn't be cool if it's like a
Are you
touch
talking about a
interface on the
physical?
screen. I'm talking about like apply an analog, plastic, or metal or copper rotary onto a smartphone.
Yeah. Well, you know what it could be is like a dock where
It could be transparent,
you
but
put your phone into the dock and it's just like it sits there and then it connects up via Bluetooth or something, and then you turn the rotary and then you have
oh
a handle. Like
yeah,
so, it's just so it's.
that'd be alright too.
My parents have a rotary phone in their home still because they work still and they have a landline actually. So why
You
not?
know, they should have a hackathon where you can only use typewriters. That would be
I
interesting.
know. Yeah. And then at the end, everybody turns in their code and somebody writes it up as is, scans it in, OCRs it. And
You know how hard it would be to write F sharp code and have all your pipeline operators aligned?
yeah, I think that would be a menace for you because you
Because I
try to
got
align
OCD like
everything.
crazy. Yeah, I would go crazy. I would have to be committed to a psych ward.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't even know. Like, well, you can buy typewriters and stuff still, but I always thought it'd be fun to get like an actual good font that looks like a typewriter. And
Well, it would be cool if Visual Studio had a theme where, as you type, it'll show the little strikers hitting your editor with the sound effect. I think that would be cool.
I think
I'll
you could do
probably.
that in VS Code because I mean it's just
Oh.
CSS, so you could do like a CSS animation or something probably with it because they have like ones. I don't know if you've seen like the extreme mode where it'll like shake and let off like particle effects when you're typing.
Yeah, I played with it a couple years ago, but it was sucking up way too many resources, so I like uninstalled it.
Yeah. Hmm. But yeah, there's a lot you could do with VS Code.
Well, I had that extension on Visual Studio, so when I would type, yeah, it would do like trimmers and like sparks would fly out. I mean, it's cool, but it was just way too computative, computative or computationally intensive. I think the latter part, right? What's the grammar?
Computationally,
Ex expensive or no
CPU bound.
computationally. Com, I was trying to say computationally intensive.
Hmm. Yeah, there's a
In theory, it
few.
should be a word called computensive.
Oh, here's a VS Code plugin that will make typewriter sounds while you're typing.
It would be cool if they had the extension where every time you had a successful compile in .NET, whether it's C sharp, F sharp, you would hear a woman moan. That
Oh,
would be the. And with me, like I'll write like a couple lines of code, and then I'll do like Control Shift B, and then I do. I thought that was funny. That would be dope. I would probably
maybe,
annoy everybody in other cubes because I compile like every 20 seconds.
maybe if it was doing the oh yeah thing.
Nah, the moan. I think it would be funny.
Oh yeah,
I could
like
really hear
that.
it. I want to. I'm seriously. Oh, I got a private chat. Hold up.
Yeah, and say something like
Oh, is
that.
that what you sent?
Yeah, play that whenever.
Let me see.
Whenever. Just a variety of those. Oh yes.
Let me see.
So yes. That's a TikTok thing.
So apparently that was some like viral video that people are imitating now.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of what TikTok does. So you get like a clip like that, and then people just do like a million variants of it, um, or they'll record their own version of it or whatever. So
No, I seriously like I want to learn, and maybe I'll write a blog post on how to get a sound effect within Visual Studio when you have a successful build. I really want to get a moan each time the builds each time it builds with 0 errors.
then you could just
I will
you could
annoy
tell
the hell out
Triple
of people. Like,
B.
I'll go to hackathons.
Yeah, just
every like
tell
20.
Triple B like,
I'll have 3 different modes. Like,
jeez, man.
I gotta, yeah, that should be like my New Year's resolution to get that done, write a blog post on it, and then see how quickly Microsoft sends me a cease and desist.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't even make it. Probably wouldn't even make it on there. I had one of my so I made an Ermagerd translator for Windows Store, and it got rejected the first time because they said that it sounded like it was meant to imitate like somebody with a speech impediment. They're like, this is not good.
No.
Like, oh, I suppose that's the way. So then I just changed the text, and they were like, oh, good to go.
Yeah. Because people will say it's them instead of you, or blame them instead of blaming you.
These typewriter sounds aren't working.
Dude, I'm gonna probably invest an hour to figure out how I can accomplish that within Visual Studio. And then I'm gonna start hold up. And then I'm gonna start live streaming again on Twitch and YouTube. And that's all you're gonna hear majority of the time.
It's hold up.
And certain like reserved words that I type in, it'll have a different sound effect.
Every time you type in,
You're like, oh, wait. Like, I'm gonna research it. It has to exist. You with what is it, Rosalind? Like you.
yeah, you could do a
I'm almost
static code
confident.
analyzer that probably produces a noise.
It's gonna be
Like
dope. I'm gonna have so many teenagers downloading my extension
just have it like
and old people.
just have it something like so that every time a new code smell is introduced, it does like something else that's opposite of that. I don't know what would it be.
Epic blog. Hey, it's been a while since I talked to you. I wrote a Clang wrapper a while back, which removes a random file under the user's home directory if the compilation fails. I was too chicken to use it though. Yeah, that's pretty malicious. Hold up, you really what IDE? Epic blog.
Clang
Blog.
is a
What is Clang? Is that Linux or something? I don't know.
Clang's a C compiler, I believe. Clang.
Oh, he's one of
C
those
lang.
people.
I used to write C code. That's where it started.
I used to be a C++ programmer, and I can't tell you anything about. I can't write a line of C++ anymore.
I don't. Well, I could probably write a little bit of C++, but they've added so much to that language that I got no idea anymore. I
Were
couldn't.
they at like C++ like 19 or something?
Yeah, like I could still consider myself a C developer because it would probably take me about an hour to get back into the flow on it. But
Clang is the LLVM project C compiler.
yeah,
I can almost guarantee Epic Blog is German or Russian.
yeah, C is too modern.
What
C++
are you?
is
Are you
lame.
German, Russian? What's your ethnicity or country of origin?
He's gonna say that he's African, and then you're gonna feel really bad.
If he is African, he's South African, but I still don't. Yeah.
Why?
Sweden.
Sweden.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, at least, I mean, obviously, like I knew he wasn't Canadian. I knew he wasn't American. So I could pat myself on the back for at least being within the region of Europe.
I'm so sweet. It's like sweet.
Is C++ a dying language? I would say no in
Mm.
regards to like firmware, right?
No, and it's used still a lot in gaming and stuff too. And there's lots of probably business apps you'd be surprised that use C++.
I
Um,
mean, Greenfield?
y-
No, no.
yeah, not Greenfield, but existing apps. Um, but the uh, but anyway, like games and anything related to like hardware development, I'm assuming a lot of that's C++. So,
Uh,
but yeah, I don't think you'd choose it as a line of business app unless you need something of potentially high performance, but you might be using Rust then, unless you just can't find Rust developers, in which case you might use C++ developers.
I take the suspicion of being German as a compliment. They are really good programmers. I think Germans are just the German culture, right? Because I mean, if I get canceled, nothing happens because I just lose two people, right? But like the German culture, I think is just known for engineering since at least World War II or prior to World War II. I'm not sure if they were known for engineering World War One, but yeah, like and that's in reference to BMW, right? I don't know what other
Or
technological
Volkswagen.
well, yeah, okay, wow. BMW, Volkswagen, name a third. Hold up.
It's Mercedes. Is that German as
Is
well?
I think it is. Okay, so basically all European luxury vehicles are
No, the really nice ones are Italian, but
okay, between the two.
let's
It's
see.
no wonder they allied in World War II.
German auto manufacturers.
Germans are very to the point, no unnecessary politeness. Kind of appreciate that because I'm in a
There's
social
Audi,
environment.
BMW.
I thought Audi was Australian, no?
Huh?
I thought
No,
Audi. I thought you said
Audi.
Audi. Okay.
AUDI. Audi. Mercedes Benz, Opel, Porsche,
Porsche is German?
Volkswagen.
Yo, what is it about Germans that like
There's also like a Ford work. It's basically Ford of Europe is in Germany
yeah,
as
but
well.
Ford is as American as apple pie. What is it about the German culture where they just innovate for automotive? Did it start with the Yeah, I mean obviously like the automobile was a product of what's his name? Harold T. Ford or something like that.
No,
What's
no.
his name?
Ford did the I think the guy who created the Ford did the assembly line was what he was known for.
Oh,
But
who did the
um,
car?
was it? Oh God,
Or is the car like a
was it
computer?
Chrysler or something?
Like what's the definition of a automobile?
I knew this at one time. Um, who invented the car? Carl Benz.
Okay. Wow, and I don't know that. I don't know
Well,
him.
Mercedes Benz.
Oh, so the car
Um,
was invented in Germany, or he was a German in
well,
America.
so it was Daimler, Chrysler.
Okay.
Uh,
Were they in America or were they in Europe?
oh, it was in.
I,
So it was invented in Germany, which is probably why it has. But
why I'm sure myself and probably the entire like continent of North America think that the cars were invented in the United States
wait, hold on a second.
and then mastered by Europeans and the Japanese.
So there was originally a steam-powered vehicle in 1672 that they were trying to build.
The
Um,
Industrial Revolution wasn't until
they
17
had steam-powered in 1769,
Yeah, I thought it was
and
like
then
1760 something was the Industrial Revolution.
Samuel Brown later tested first industrially applied internal combustion engine but Carl Benz developed the first gas one in 1887.
Where was he
Carl
in?
Benz.
Was he in Germany or was he in the United States as a German?
He's of German nationality. He was born in Germany, died in Germany.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm assuming it's that he was just German, all around German.
He was just German. Okay.
But I suppose it's kind of like other things where it was invented by someone, but it became big by somebody else. Because Ford was, I mean, he was an automobile guy, but he really understood process and manufacturing and brought the assembly line. He also was responsible for the 40-hour work week too.
Which Epic Blarg is Sweden entertaining the 4-day work week? He said Sweden, right?
I think everybody should be.
Well, that's not possible. You talking about for corporate office?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The standard. Well, I mean, it's possible even for other disciplines too if you just increase wages a little bit, but
I mean, not
compensate for the
not
extra
like
day.
retail, right? Retail, hospitality.
Well, how much would you need to pay somebody extra to make their 4-day work week the equivalent of a 40-hour work week? You take the fourth day or the fifth day and distribute it across the 4 days.
Yeah.
So if you're making, what, $15 an hour, and I can't do math.
I mean, let's just start with 100,000 a year.
You're making, let's say, 15,000 or $15 an hour. I'm talking about like hospitality. And you times that by 8 hours, that's $120. And then you divide that by the other 32 hours. You're giving somebody a $3, $4 pay bump. And then you get a 4-hour work week. So it'd be making $19 an hour.
Yeah, but the question is, there's other factors, right? Like, what's the motivation for a 4-hour work week? I mean, a 4-day work week. I would think that the motivation would be to retain people that create, right? People that innovate, right?
Yeah,
You want to
I don't think it'd be
retain.
so much about retention as the fact that like people are supposedly more productive over 4 days than they are over 5, especially in creative type work.
So okay, so
You're just maximizing someone's capability by giving them enough time to R&R.
a union worker at an assembly plant, would they be more productive in theory, or would it justify the cost or potential? I don't know. I would assume it would be a reduction of output for workers on the assembly line, right?
Yeah, technically.
Because they're following a script.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. So you're thinking
repetitive.
You might do a 4-day work week for that for different reasons. The 40-hour work week, like I said, that was Henry Ford's thing. I believe that's why it became big, or why it's kind of our standard today. And what the idea was not that you're going to potentially produce less motor vehicles, but the majority of people work those type of jobs, and the majority of people are the consumers. So if you give more people more leisure time, they do more things, they consume more things, they break more things, they have to buy more things. And that's the idea behind the 40-hour work week, is to give people enough time to actually go out and use the vehicles and use the appliances and use these things that they have, so that they inevitably break, and it causes a cycle of, now obviously there's probably a breaking point where you couldn't get down to a one day work, but maybe you could.
I noticed that people tend to be pretty non-productive on Fridays. I wonder if a 4-day work week would mean people become non-productive on Thursdays. Yeah,
Probably.
I think so.
I don't know. Fridays are my most productive days usually. I don't know what it is. Like,
Well, I mean, think
I think.
about to support what he's saying. I know I just completely cut you
Oh, go
off.
ahead.
I'm sorry,
No, that's fine.
but to support what he's saying, think about like in the States, your your the week of Thanksgiving, all right? Your Thursday and Friday you have off usually if you work in like a corporate setting. Um, and because it's holiday season, like a third to half of the people are just off anyway, right? And so like it's almost borderline free money for that week because you don't really have people to answer to in general. Everybody, it's just accepted that that week is not going to be hella productive. And I would assume that for a 4 day week, people would treat, like you said, or like I think you said, Thursdays as Fridays, where like maybe by afternoon they just sunset and they just go into autopilot or cruise control.
I don't know. Hasn't some of the research indicated though that people are more productive on a 4 day work week? But
On my Fridays, I'm more likely to tap out earlier compared to Monday through Thursday.
yeah, like I said, I end up being more productive on Fridays. Usually, I end up like I don't know how many times where I've slogged all week and then Friday I'm like working extra hours because I get inspired or something and I end up like sitting here and it's like get off the work you're done with
Mm,
work and I'm like no I'm doing something.
not me. Like I'm trying to figure out what happy hour I'm gonna do. I'm trying to figure out like, okay, I think I'm about to hit up South Beach and do some hood rat things. Like, no, my weekend has started. Like, I'm not interested F work. Like I'm not interested. Like I put in my time. I'm gonna enjoy this Friday evening. Unless I'm burnt out, then I just stay at home and I just lay in bed or lay on the couch.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I went to a real happy hour.
I notice that people tend to be pretty non-productive on Fridays. I wonder if a 4 day work week would mean people become non-productive on Thursdays instead. My problem is that I easily screw up my sleep schedule on the weekends. If I had 3 days, I'm afraid I'd screw it up even more. Ever
Must
since
be
daylight savings, like 2 months ago, I keep waking up at 4 in the morning, man.
Epic Blog must be a night owl. There's
He writes C++. plus plus.
yeah, then he's a night owl, right?
Like who picks that as a living?
Oh no, he rates C. He doesn't rate C++.
Oh, okay.
C is an elegant language. I like it. C++ is like gross.
Epic Blog, when you do C, are you writing firmware? I would assume, right? Because what else can you write?
Yeah, they're writing Rust. He's writing Rust. That's where all the C developers are going. C is
Yeah,
going to be a toy language soon.
I think I encountered Epic Blog on Togglebit's video. I think, is that accurate? Togglebit is a Rust streamer on Twitch that I discovered probably like maybe 2 years ago, maybe. And he had like a whopping like 10 people observing him. Now he has probably on average like 100 to maybe 130. I do some microcontroller development and see. Yeah, talk a bit recommended your channel, so I ended up here a while back. I don't know why he recommended it, but um,
Do you do any live programming anymore on your channel? When was the last time you'd done that?
when I was working on Beach Delivery.
We got to work on our social media. I made a social media app or website once. It was a clone. It was like Twitter, but you would basically you could upvote something which would add more time to its life, to it like the thing's lifetime. So like if you wanted to see some text persist longer, you would. It was stupid. It was called overtoted, and you would salt the toad if you wanted to go away, and you'd lick the toad if you wanted it to stay longer. So every lick would add like an extra 144 or like 1,444 seconds to its like cycle. So people who would, if a toad got licked a bunch, it would be like it would stay around longer. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
Do you remember the Whopper sacrifice?
The the, the Whopper sacrifice.
That
Is
doesn't
this a
sound
Burger
familiar?
King thing?
Yeah, that doesn't
Uh,
sound familiar.
I feel like I have something at the edge of my cranium somewheres, but no.
That was an interesting social experiment.
The Whopper sacrifice. Okay, I gotta watch this. Huh.
You...
Oh, dumb friends.
Facebook didn't like that.
Delete 10 friends and you'll get a free Whopper. Burger King, say what you want about their food, but they are on point with their social media game. Burger King's always been just
The Whopper
social media.
sacrifice. You
Well,
know
I
how many Instagram, like they should do the same thing on Instagram.
Yeah, well, they I don't know. They have their like tweets are on point too. Their comebacks and like their just the random stuff they do. Too bad they couldn't just put that into making sure that everything was quality at all of their stores. But
Hold on, what are we talking about? We're talking about Burger King?
Burger King, yeah,
In South Beach, they have a fast food restaurant that I guess is licensed to prepare Whoppers.
Hmm.
And it's called I didn't know that this was a thing. It's how like you see like places that look like Starbucks but they're not Starbucks, but they're kind of licensed to have the Starbucks brand or serve like Starbucks like drinks.
like
Kind of like
like
those Apple stores that are
like at
like,
Target where they have Starbucks at Target.
yeah, but they're not called Starbucks, but
Oh,
they're licensed.
oh, then I don't know.
Uh,
We don't really have many Starbucks. Well, I mean, we have Starbucks in Minnesota, but we don't have very many of them.
Yeah,
Because
I think this spot is called like the Whopper Bar. So they serve like
oh yeah,
Whoppers. We mean, oh yeah, you've been to South Beach?
I went to a Whopper bar in Vegas.
Oh, I thought that was
The
just
only
a South
difference
Beach
is it's a
thing.
Burger King, and they serve, but they also serve beer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so I didn't know that was a franchise.
it's a variant of Burger King. Yeah,
Okay. No, I've never seen that in Cleveland. I've never seen it in any other city.
yeah. I happened upon one when I was in Vegas for the first time with my friend, and we sat down and had a Whopper and a beer at the Whopper bar. But no, I think that is a variant of it. Have you heard of so one of the things that like in DoorDash and stuff that they have are these virtual restaurants. Have you seen this? Where like so they'll I think the idea is that a company will license with a chain of restaurants to prepare food out of their kitchen for like a virtual restaurant. So let's say they're using up excess time at like Applebee's or something, where there's cooks on staff or whatever. And so, like, if you look up what Mr. Beast Burger, something like that, does, um, they have it listed in DoorDash for my area. There's no Mr. Beast Burger restaurant here, but supposedly what happens is some other restaurant is actually preparing the food, and then they just brand it under Mr. Beast Burger, and then they deliver it that way. So it's like a virtual restaurant. It's kind of interesting. And then like Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, it's like a white label
Yeah.
concept.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That'd be a best way to say it. Yeah. And so like Buffalo Wild Wings, for instance, they have wings, but they actually have it's still served out of of Buffalo Wild Wings, but they, for the purposes of DoorDash, they actually brand an entire burger restaurant inside of DoorDash for Buffalo Wild Wings. So that you go to the Buffalo Wild Wings to get their menu, but then you can go here to just get your burger menu. And
What's the purpose of that? To protect the original restaurants from litigation or something, from lawsuits?
no, I think it's just it's a branding type thing, or like people
Yeah, but
see
how much does
Buffalo
that?
Wild Wings, they don't think of burgers, right? But if you go there and it's called like, here, let me look at what it's called.
Yeah, but how much more does that add to cost for
It doesn't. It's all virtual. They already make burgers and stuff like that. They just don't. They don't brand themselves as a burger
Oh,
place.
okay,
Like Buffalo
okay.
Wild Wings.
Okay.
So, but in DoorDash, they brand themselves in multiple ways. So, of course, none of the stores are open right now, so I can't actually look at what the name of it is. But it's like, oh God, what is it? Buffalo. Or it was called like.
Have you? I'm changing the subject real fast. Have you? Oh, I thought my thing was connected. Hold up.
Yeah, if you look up Mr. Beast Burger, that's one of the ones that's doing this as an entirely virtual.
When's the last time you interviewed someone technically for work purposes, employment purposes? Like you were the interviewer.
Yeah. For a real interview, like I
Yeah,
did an
yeah.
internal one a while ago, but God, it's probably been 6 years, I think, since I've done a real type interview like that.
So I've been interviewing. I've been serving as an interviewer recently. I gotta make sure I don't get myself in trouble. Um, and so like I see. Give me 1 second. I gotta charge my thing. So where is it at? Here we go. All right. So I'll see on a resume like Azure certification, like
Hmm.
Azure certified developer, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh shoot, okay, man, I could learn from this person because one of my mentors, he's a certified solution or certified Azure solutions architect or something like that. And he was telling me that certification was grueling, and he sat in front of the monitor with someone watching him inside of a facility or designated facility for 3 hours. And the same thing happened with me. Like when I went for my Windows Presentation Foundation certification, like it was stressful, it was long, but I knew a lot of trivia about Windows Presentation Foundation. All right, so I'm setting like the expectation. Translated, getting a certification I thought was a journey in which you come out extremely knowledgeable about whatever technology and trivia that most people don't know, but you know because you were forced to know it in order to achieve your certification.
Hmm.
And recently, I don't think I can't tell like when people have it on their resume and I start asking them questions that I would expect would be drilled into their head in order for them to pass the certification. And I'm not observing that at all. And I wasn't sure if you or other people that have resonated similar experiences or concerns.
Uh, Maybe. I mean, I'd be cautious about. So, like, how long ago did they get the certification?
Does it matter?
Yeah, I mean, it
If it's
kind of
about a
does.
technology, like okay.
All right. So, I mean, you
I
have
mean,
a.
it's been like almost 10 years, and I still know trivia about Windows Presentation Foundation
Do you know how to do
because it
like
was
implement a
stressful.
bubble sort?
Do I know how to do the bubble sort? Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, I understand the concept. I'm sure I could write the
could you do it
code.
right now? I mean, off the top of your head?
I think I could.
I
I
don't. I
mean,
couldn't. I don't even. I don't
a,
remember
a,
because I never use it.
a bubble sort is you literally like take elements within in this case, computer science, an array, and you look at the very first element at the beginning of this array, and you take the second element on the right
If
side
one's
of the
bigger than the
beginning
other
one,
one, you would
and you
swap
say,
them.
yeah, and then
But yeah,
you maintain that index or that pointer to that element position. What about you? Uh, and it's recursive. You just keep doing the same thing. Well, it's not recursive, but it's within a for loop.
yeah,
Oh,
you're
stay.
bubbling it. Yeah.
I
So I
think I
couldn't
can
have
work
told
that.
you that. I couldn't have told you that, but as soon as you started saying, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Sometimes people just need like a reminder of
F
how everything
that.
is.
You should be applying
No,
for a job and you have this decoration that most people are unable to achieve, but then when we ask you about it, you can't remember.
yeah,
That's hard for me to accept.
I don't know. Like I said, I would see how long ago it was, and it could show proof that they're capable of, and that with a little bit of dusting off, they'd be able to be really proficient in that area. Some people are bad at trivia too, man.
Well, I wasn't
Tests are
asking.
hard.
Let me set the tone. I wasn't asking trivia questions like "who cares" type of questions. I was asking like legitimate, like if you're a solutions developer and you have Microsoft saying that they have certified you to be this type of solutions developer on their platform, I automatically equate a solutions developer with knowing enterprise fundamentals. Enterprise fundamentals include enterprise patterns or concepts such as messaging, like message bus, messaging. I don't care if it's Azure, I don't care if it's AWS, just the concept in general. I expect that if you're a certified Azure or certified AWS solutions developer, you understand the concept of a message bus.
Yeah, yeah, they should probably.
Okay, that's
Well,
what I'm saying.
that's not even Azure certified anything. That's if you've been writing business applications or like line of business apps and you've been doing it for more than 5 years and you don't know what a message bus is, you're probably like that's just something you should probably know. It's a pretty common thing.
Yeah, so then like I'll ask a question. So
I
one,
mean,
like if you're a solutions architect, you should understand enterprise. Like that's the expectation. That's not unfair for me to expect, right? And then the other part is you sh as a if you have a certification, then I have the expectation that you're going to understand I have those books too.
these are the two that they need to look at.
Yeah. If you
Pretty
have a
much.
if you have a certification, I threw those books away like last year when I was
What?
moving. I
Why would
wasn't
you throw
using
these?
it.
Are beautiful books,
They're
man.
beautiful
Why would
books, and
you even have like the little tassel thing in there to
they were taking up space, and like I didn't need them because I could always like reference them on the internet or just go through
you
Amazon.
didn't bring them to the
Here
library?
here's what I want. Here's what I want to get off. I was just gonna say
Sorry.
like I
Yeah, I'm
just want to
interrupting
say
you.
if you're certified as a solutions architect by Azure or AWS, I kind of expect you to articulate why you would choose uh, a queue over a topic. I don't know what they call topics, and I think they call topics in AWS buckets. But like, I want you to explain like why someone would choose a topic for publishing messages and receiving messages versus a queue. And like, if you're certified, I expect you to know that. Else, your certification means nothing. Oh, Scott, you're being unfair. No, it's
Yeah,
you're a
that's not
solutions
even right.
architect, and what's the point of achieving that type of certification that I can't even achieve right now? Right now, if you can't articulate to a client why you would choose one over the other for a enterprise business that costs millions of dollars and probably $10,000 on average a day just to operate. Like,
Yeah, but that's outside of the certification question, though.
it's a concept.
Yeah,
I,
it's like a basic concept of
for a
a
solutions
senior.
architect that has a
Yeah,
certification, I expect them.
for a
One,
solutions architect, it should be like you don't even need a certification. That you should understand that.
yeah, I agree. My argument was a solutions
Assuming you're
architect
doing
with
LOBs, yeah.
a respected certification. Like, do I? I mean, I didn't check Azure to see if they're on their wall of certified architects or certified developers, but I would assume if you put it on there, people are going to they're going to vet you on it. I know I
Yeah,
would.
or maybe they don't. I mean, there are people trying to, scam the system. There's people who like literally have other people interview for them, and then they show up on the
I
day to the
know.
job. Yeah, that's a real thing.
That's happened at an organization.
Yeah.
Um, I've heard a couple stories about that.
So I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
Okay, like
I'd verify it.
is that like is that practice common in India?
I have no idea.
Okay,
It might be like a one-off type thing. I, who knows? I don't know.
yeah,
But I know that people like.
I've I've
I
heard
mean,
about
tech
it before.
jobs are well, and this happens even at C-suite. There was somebody who was. I can't remember. It was like a story somebody told me, and I can't remember where I heard it. Where they worked for a company, and or was it you who told me this? No, no, it was somebody else actually. It might have been at my current job. They were telling about a previous work experience where somebody was hired in as like a CIO or something like that, and they literally got like a package and everything, and they literally didn't do anything um, for the entire time, and then eventually they got basically you know canned, but they got like a golden parachute. But it was like literally this person just scammed their way into a high paying position, just collected their paycheck and benefits,
So it means that
waited and
someone
then waited
else.
for them to get fired.
So it means that someone else is literally has a side business of just being a professional interviewee
Yeah, yeah,
and collecting a commission. I'll do that.
yeah. Well, that no, this they actually got hired and then
No. Interviewee. So I thought a separate person interviewed. Are you saying that
no.
they legitimately like the identity of that person did the interview instead of having someone else do the interview and then that person just got
Yeah,
inserted and
no,
then
they did
collected
the
the paycheck?
interview. They did the interview
Yeah.
too. They just lied on their resumes and they're about their experience to hustle their way in. They basically just hustled
Yeah.
them
So I say all this because it makes me think twice about getting a certification. Is it
because somebody
still
doesn't know.
no? It happened a couple times. It happened on more than one time.
Well,
Uh,
was your WPF certification worth it?
yes, I
Okay.
think so
Well, then why are you questioning the value?
because my experience with doing my WPF certification, it forced me to know details that most people don't know, and it became extremely useful for designing and troubleshooting. You can get lost in WPF when you're trying to figure
Oh
out why
yeah.
a control isn't working, why the user experience isn't working the way that you expected, and you crawl down the visual tree or the logical tree. Like, that stuff is extremely useful. And I took that certification because I was like, I want to make $80 an hour, and no one's going to hire me to make $80 an hour. So I'm just going to get a certification, and now I have an opportunity to interview for jobs for $80 an hour. And if I do that enough, I'm going to have a job for $80 an hour. Like, that was my logic, right? So yeah, but my question is, are the certifications just as rigorous as the experience that I went through?
I have no
And
idea.
okay,
Never done a cert.
Epic Blog, did you hear the story about the guy who subcontracted cheap Chinese programmers to do his job?
Yeah,
Sounds familiar.
I've heard that one.
It's an
That guy
urban
should have been
legend.
promoted instead of fired,
It's an
or
urban
maybe it was a
legend.
female. She should have been promoted instead of fired.
I had someone solicit me to do something like that on
Yeah,
LinkedIn,
I really suck at
and it
coding.
was a Chinese person.
I need you to program this so I can get a job.
Oh no, they're like, can you apply for U.S. jobs? Um, go go through the interview process and then delegate me the work. And like I read this like message on LinkedIn, and I'm like, should I like do a screenshot and blast this person across LinkedIn? I mean, I didn't respond to him. I was just surprised that someone would really like solicit somebody like a complete stranger.
hmm Yeah, I wonder why they picked you.
I could pull the race card, but
This guy knows what it's like
yeah,
being Chinese.
I'm not sure. I mean, I think the cultures are probably polar opposites in almost every single way.
Yeah, probably.
It's I think this is where I'm gonna get myself in trouble. I think it's in regards to intelligence, stereotype, hierarchy, Asian, white, Indian, black. Then I don't want to get in trouble for saying like the last one or two places, but
Well,
I think that's a stereotype, right? In general, people think that Asians are just genetically like it's in their genes for them to just be very smart. Like
yeah, I think
Case
they're.
Western Reserve, like it's a black city. So Cleveland's a black city, but that one prestigious college, Case Western Reserve, you'd see a whole bunch of Asian people.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is studies that they've done where they've measured the IQs of races, and it pretty much aligns with that. And that's not a qualitative statement. Um, that's my understanding that that's a fact. But
It's hard to
yeah,
measure that as fact if you don't take into consideration cultural norms,
yeah. Well, and then you take
demographics.
demographics, maybe the way the questions are written, then and who knows what the methodology was. But then also too, it's you take the thing that I think we all have to realize is you take any individual within a category of people, and that individual can be completely different than the category. So you have extremely stupid Asians, you have extremely stupid white people, you have extremely smart Hispanic and black people that just run circles around, anyone, so it's kind of like you have extremely talented female athletes that could run circles around their male counterparts who aren't athletes. It's any individual can be. It doesn't matter, and I think as long as you treat people as an individual rather than trying to put everybody into categories and buckets and claim that they're this or
Yeah,
that.
but that's so hard to do.
Well, I mean, your mind's
The
patterned
way
on
that
that.
we're wired, the way that we're conditioned, it's I would say it's borderline impossible to completely like not even consider the pattern matching that our minds are great at, right?
Yeah, I suppose that's the what is it, it's whatever bias. I have trouble recalling words sometimes. Um, Implicit bias, yeah, something like that, where you're like,
Social bias, I don't know.
where you have thoughts and you can't really control them. I mean, it's your subconscious bubbling
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
yeah, I think I've said several times. Back in the day where people used to like go
unconscious
to,
bias.
yeah, back in the day when people used to go to like an actual office and there would be cubicles and stuff like that. To me, I would make a mental note that a black person dressed in business attire has just crossed my path. I'm black, but it's not common to me. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like I do it, right? And if I do it, I'm sure white people do it, right? I'm sure Asian people do it. So
No,
it
I
is what it is.
I guess I don't really make note of that. Actually, it's kind of weird though. Is like if I crossed any person, well, you know what though, I'd do this to white. Like how you dress, uh, uh, to me seems to have more impact than what your race would be. Like if I walk
It wasn't
by,
about how you dress. It's me being at an engineering firm and seeing someone that
okay,
that television usually doesn't depict as an engineer. My mind immediately recognizes that as
that's the token.
interesting.
That's the token guy.
Yeah, my mind, even my mind registers my mind in which I have a
Yeah,
white narrator that reads books to me, right?
yeah,
It recognizes, oh, he's black. He's at an engineering firm. Like it happens. It's involuntary.
yeah. I don't know if I'd have that thought. I mean, maybe. I guess. I mean, I've worked with black people before, and I don't like particularly think about like, oh, that person's black. It's just
Okay,
they just work with us.
so one time I was working at a corporation contracting, and we were told that there was a new hire, a new developer that would be on our team. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then the person came, and the person was missing an arm. And I'm like,
Okay.
I never saw a programmer that just used like one hand, so I thought it was interesting, right? I was like, hey, do you see the new hire? He was like, no. I was like, guy,
Oh God.
he has one arm. He's like, so? What? Am I the only person? So like to me, my mind thinks that that's interesting. And I think it is interesting. Like I want to
Yeah.
understand how that person like
Yeah. They.
compiles, how they do Control Alt Delete. I'm sorry if I think about things like that, like how they navigate the keyboard, because I use two hands, and this person has been able to.
Yeah, but that's just a curiosity. Then I mean,
Yeah, it's
because
not me
it's
discriminating. It's me saying, wow, that is the very first time I've ever even conceived that this could be accomplished for this position. Like, and people probably will try to like cancel me. Like, I find it interesting. I never thought that it was possible. I didn't even
I
think
don't
that
think
that
you'd
would be
get
a
canceled for that.
case.
It's an interesting scenario. Well, I mean, how people overcome their what is perceived as a disability, I guess, is it's an interesting thing. Oh,
Yeah.
excuse me. So I don't think there's anything wrong with thinking that.
We all walk on eggshells now.
Yeah. I mean, I think what would be actually would be I think if I worked with somebody who was in an engineering firm who was Native American, I think I would probably have the same thought as you do, because it's like that's something that I know exists, has to exist, but I don't think I've ever met a Native American programmer ever, ever. Met plenty of you know Indians
I
and
haven't.
Asians
I
and
mean,
African Americans, and I don't even know if I've met any Hispanic developers.
of course you have.
Trying to
Are
no
you
no yeah
serious?
Jose Derp. Yeah, no, I've met him. So yeah, but native I've never met.
Or maybe because I'm in Miami, and to me it's like, how can you not like
Yeah,
have?
well, in Minnesota, so it's
Yeah,
but Jose from I don't know if you remember Jose from
yeah.
Twitter. Yeah, I guess I've met him. So but yeah, Native American. I've never met a Native American engineer ever. I should try to find one. Could like find one on Twitter.
I
Be
mean,
like, I need to know.
to be fair, to be fair, I think they represent like 0.04% of like the United States population. So
Yeah, but that would be you'd have to admit like that would be something where your mind would pattern match and go, this is different. I mean, not qualitative saying anything again, walking on eggshell stuff, but it is just something that is very.
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe I've met them and I've just never known that they were native, but I've never met somebody who's noticeably, visibly native, I should say.
So you want to know a hidden secret that I have is I purposely don't show my video at work because I'm concerned that it would be a distraction or somehow change expectations of me. So like on MS Teams, my profile is just my initials. That's the default
Oh,
on that application. And I just don't do video streams. That's my policy. I don't show my face. You're talking to my initials.
yeah. When I started this current job I'm in, it was stated that we turn our cameras on. So I've always just done that, unless I'm eating or in otherwise disarray. But
So far I've gotten away with interviewing people. Like I had my camera on one time when I was being interviewed for the position. But outside of that, everybody else's cameras are on for interviewing candidates. No, mine stays off.
you gotta get a really.
A manager, I'll have a talk with
Can you get a
a
picture of
manager.
yourself on
I have
there
a
or
talk with a
something?
manager, and they're like, "Can you turn on your camera?" I'm like, I'm sorry, my machine. I have two monitors on, and my monitors don't have a webcam. Like, I'll create an excuse to like not disclose my ethnicity. I mean, I think half the people know I'm black by now, but
Can't you put like a picture on your thing there so that people have some sort of idea of who you are?
I mean, I'm sure they Google me. In fact, one of them subscribed to my channel like a couple of days ago. I'm like,
I think you need to put your take a screenshot of you from Painfully Blunt and use that as your picture.
oh, with the scarf.
Yeah, I gotta find. You gotta be in this preview
Oh crap!
somewhere.
I finished my taxes, man. That was so stressful. Taxes are like midterms or finals, like in regards to the stress level.
Yeah,
It took me like 3 days to get done. And what's weird is, oh, what's up?
I'm just watching the preview for Painfully Blunt, and it goes from your picture. You're like look at him like, and then you turn to him and he's just like wide eyed like. I don't know. Here we go.
Oh, so Taco Bit is a Twitch. Taco Bit stopped streaming. Like he used to stream every morning, and now I don't see him at all. The last time he streamed was 7 days ago because I attempted to check it out this morning. Epic Blarg.
Just use that picture I sent you on Twitter. Put that as your MS Teams with the scarf.
Let me see. I think I got a notification on my phone. Uh,
Painfully Blunt.
yeah, that was like almost 10 years ago. It was probably more than 10 years ago.
That's why I should strive to get an IMDb credit. If you ever get asked to be in a movie again and they need random white guy number 5, let me know so I can get in. I can get an IMDb.
You never been an extra in a movie?
No, I think that's a bucket list type thing.
I want to be an extra on the next Sharknado movie. That'd be dope. I actually met, uh, my neighbor had worked on that movie as an artist. I don't know if that's good or bad, but actually, in this house right here, they live downstairs
Hmm.
in the downstairs apartment.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of film and stuff like that in Minnesota. So I mean, occasionally you'll get someone here, but it's not really hot spot for
In Minnesota, you can be on. You could be a,
television
you could be an
movies.
extra on the set for when animals attack.
We don't even have. The thing is, we don't have that many
You guys got moose. Is it mooses or moose?
moose.
Moose, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not meese like geese, even though it's goose.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, meese.
It sounds like a French word.
It's not meese though. It's moose. Moose is the
I
plural. It's
bet you
like
the.
deer.
I
Deer
bet
is
you
a
the.
plural of deer.
If I could guess the origin of moose and goose, if I could guess, it's French and it's from the French colonizing Canada. If I could guess.
Could be. Origin of the word moose. Moose. It is early 17th century from Eastern Abenaki. Wait, moose
Ver,
entomology.
Verduda says Germanic. Is it Germanic or Germanic? Sounds like Germanic, right?
Germanic.
It's Germanic, and then he says Dutch.
Hmm.
He doesn't know that though. He didn't have that much time to look it up. What does Wikipedia say?
Oh man, I don't know. I gotta look at the etymology of it. Oh man, it's just a bunch of like stuff I can't. I don't
So
know.
you know the
Oh,
origin
maybe it
of
is. It's actually Ojibwa. Moose, maybe. 1610s from the Algonquin language. So it's probably like a
Native American.
it's a Native American term, but it's been like augmented probably to be more English sounding or French sounding.
Well, you know the origins of Detroit, right?
No,
You don't
Musa.
know. You don't know where Detroit came from, or what country it stems from.
No, I don't.
All right, so I'm gonna give you a hint. Detroit.
Detroit.
Yep,
Day. I don't know.
French.
It's French.
Yep. When I interviewed at uh,
The
Rocket,
river was known as La Detroit du Lac Erie.
when I interviewed at Rocket Loans, or I don't know the name of that place. They're pretty big though.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Cricket, yeah.
they had hired me a driver with a tour guide. Like they took care of me when they flew me in. They took care of me. They gave me a driver, a tour guide. They were trying to talk me up to moving to Detroit from Miami Beach. Um, but yeah, I learned the origin of Detroit, and
Hmm.
how it was founded by a French. I'm not sure if it was a French explorer, but it was founded by someone of French origin, and they had, I think their last name was Detroit. However you would pronounce Detroit in French.
I don't know. Maybe.
Detour, something like that.
Yeah. So
Detroit,
Detroit. Yeah.
Detroit.
The largest city in the state of Michigan. Yeah, they've got a little bit about it here. But, huh. I never really thought of Detroit being a border city until a few
Well,
years ago.
Windsor.
Yeah.
Windsor owes me money.
Anyways, I got stand up here in a little bit. I'm gonna go refresh my coffee and get going. So
Great talking to you. And no, I haven't resumed development of beast delivery. It's on my radar. I think about it every day. But
I'm
that's it.
still working towards my half
Work dates.
marathons and marathons and all that stuff. So did 22 miles last week total. I'm trying to try for 24, which means I got to do a 10K today, and then I got to run 9 miles tomorrow.
Holy crap, you're serious. Okay.
Well, so I've read for marathons, you should be up to 40 miles a week to train for a marathon, and I'm only at like 20 something, so I'm way before where I should be.
You're further than me this year.
I got a half marathon next weekend though, so I did 8 miles on Saturday. That was fun.
Hey, This is good stuff. You're motivating me. Unfortunately, it's still too cold up here in Canada, so I need to take a flight back to Miami, and then I can resume, hopefully without injury.
Yeah, I got to go to the gym to run because it's yeah, it's cold. It's too, I want it to be 60s. It's gonna be 60 or it's gonna be like 70 on Saturday, but thunderstorming, and then it's going back down to 40s. It's just
Yeah.
stupid. So tired of this. I want the summer to come.
They say global warming. All right, we'll catch
Yeah.
up. See ya.
All right, see ya. Bye.
Bye, Bear Duda and Epic Blar.
Blarg.
All
Blarg.
right, see ya. Bye. And in broadcast.